Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Club Junkie podcast. Another week. We're getting through January way too fast. It's crazy. But before we get into today's episode, just want to let you know this episode brought to you by Titleist and the brand new T-Series irons. If you haven't gone and checked out the new T-Series irons, the brand new, all new T100, T150, T200, and T350, you owe it to yourself to do it. I went and did my fitting last year. I know it's not that long ago, but last year in the summer, I got to hit all of them. Ended up going with a T200 4 and 5 iron, T150 6 through pitching wedge, and it was a ton of fun. You get to go hit a bunch of balls. Mine was the Titleist fitting at a local place here, and I got to hit all the irons, hit a bunch of shafts, compare them directly to my old T100s, the previous gen, and we basically dialed in, the 3 Ds, distance, dispersion, and descent angle. And it was a massive improvement over the T100s to go to the T150s and then into the 200 long irons. So the 150s, I think, are some of one of the greatest irons in terms of combination of forgiveness, player's look, sound and feel, and forgiveness, sound and feel, playability, looks, all that. They do it all, and it's pretty cool. And then the T200s are just a little higher flying, a little longer, and they just add a little bit of firepower to the top end of my bag. So if you're looking to check out the brand new Titleist T-Series irons, go to Titleist.com, check them out there, and then also look to schedule your own Titleist fitting to get fit for your set today. So Titleist.com, check out everything about the brand new T-Series irons. So here we are, another week, second week of our second show of the year, and I'm already scared because today, well, I'm recording on the 10th, tomorrow's the 11th when this goes out, and the 11th is yet another huge embargo day for launch stuff, brand new equipment, and I was talking to a buddy of mine, realized we're 11 days away from taking off to head down to the PGA show. So kind of crazy to think that the PGA show itself is only 11 days away. It's 12 days away, but I'm flying, you fly in Monday, the show, demo day starts Tuesday, rest of the show, Wednesday, Thursday, and most people fly home Friday. So I'll be flying home Friday morning, but just crazy to think that, that we're that close, which is pretty amazing. So, I'm still pretty worried because I booked my flights and the Delta app is still not letting me pick my seat, which is kind of a bummer. So hopefully, that will change. And, just want to say to everybody who followed along with my Instagram live the other day while I was installing tips on new driver shafts. Thank you for everybody who followed along, everybody who hung out. Whole lot of fun, whole lot of questions. We had a great time. So if you want to follow along with my next one, I don't know exactly when it'll be, but at Club Junkie Pod is the spot to do it. And that's my Instagram. If you're watching this on, please subscribe there. We finally broke 12,000 followers, which is awesome. I know that's like a minuscule number to compare to so many other like golf accounts, but to me that's huge, man. I really appreciate everybody who takes the time to follow along and all that. That's it's pretty awesome. So anyway, hopefully you guys have had a great week. It's Thursday already, which is nuts. We're getting close to the weekend. So I fortunately today we're going to talk about something brand new, just launched this morning, and we're all over it. I was fortunately at this launch event, which was pretty fun. It always is. But we're going to talk about PXG and the brand new Black Ops woods that are out. So I got to go down to Arizona and Scottsdale and check out all the brand new PXG stuff. Just a few weeks ago, it was end of December, right before the holiday hit or something like that. I went down, and it's always cool. Scottsdale National is absolutely insane. It's just a country club that is just kind of wild, but it's very cool. It's one of those places that if I ever came into the money, I would basically go and beg Dr. Bob Parsons to let me join. But very cool place. The range, the short game facilities, all that are absolutely phenomenal. The range and everything. I mean, granted, I'm pretty sure it's all painted in terms of, especially in end of December, the grass is probably painted, but. Flew in there, you get dropped off at the front, and you get to stay in some of the villas there, and they are nicer than any house I've ever been in, the villas, and they were super nice. But got to go there. You stay there. The food is absolutely phenomenal. But then you get out to the range, and the range is it's massive. It is perfectly manicured. It is just, it's a dream place to hit balls. It's really, really perfect. And they've got kind of two ranges, kind of a larger one and then a smaller one. And yeah, we were set up there, and it's kind of cool. So you get in. I think I flew in on a Monday and had a fitting set up. So I think I landed at like 11. Got a ride, got over to Scottsdale National, and then I think my fitting was at like 2 or something like that, 1:30. And then we went through, did a fitting, and then PXG builds the clubs overnight. And the next day on the range, your clubs are just sitting there. They're ready to go. They're on the range. Your name's on them, all that. And then you can unbox them, put them in your bag, and later on that day, we went and played golf, and it was pretty cool. So, and Scottsdale National is a pretty cool club. I've only played. There's 2 courses. There's the Mine Shaft course, and I think it's called like the other course. And I've only played the other course, but it's pretty good. It's a pretty solid place. Again, absolutely immaculate. Everything is perfect. There's no ball marks on the green. All the divots that are out there are fixed, immediately. You go out there and you feel like you're the first tee time off, even though you're playing, after people or whatever. But it was really good. We had a good time playing that round. I had some fun. I got to play that, and then we did a little shootout at the end. Where they set up a kind of we'll call it a shootout, but it was really kind of like a 9-hole par 3 course, but it was long. I think the shortest hole was 200 yards, and the longest hole was like 285 or something like that. It was basically a drivable par 4. So it was pretty cool. They set that up at the end, and basically it was a thing to get out there and promote the Black Ops Woods. So, but yeah, went into my fitting, all that. We'll get into what I was fit into in just a minute. And then, so I took my clubs out and went and played this little kind of shootout thing, and it was pretty cool. They had a couple of their pros there, like an LPGA pro and a PGA pro, and I feel horrible that I forgot their name now. I should have wrote it down, but they had them, so you could actually, on the first like 2 holes or 3 holes, you could have that PGA player hit a shot for you. One shot in those 2 holes or 3 holes, and then the same thing on the next 2 or 3 holes, or you got to, I think it was 2 holes, I think it was 4. You had to have the LPGA Pro hit a shot for you. So the first hole I hit a really good, I think it was like 210, I think it was like a 215 or 220, something like that. I don't know. It was something like that, like 215. It was kind of like in between 7-wood and 3-wood, because it was a little bit uphill. But I hit 7-wood, figured if I come up short, I can just, wedge it on. Hit 7-wood, it drew a little more than I thought, and hit the bunker. If it would have stayed straight, it would have been on the green and probably rolled to pin high, but hit the bunker. It was kind of a long bunker shot. It was like left side, and it was kind of in the front of the bunker, and it was a good amount of carry to get to the hole. And I called my boy in, asked him to hit that shot. He hit it to like 2 feet. We made the putt, walked out with par. And there was only a couple pars made on the hole. There were a bunch of 2-man teams. Unfortunately, my partner had something come up. He had to leave. A gentleman I'd never met, John. So I'd never met him. He unfortunately didn't play. He had something going on, so he left. So it was just me. But like and the same thing. Ian from Club Champion Media, formerly TXG. Ian and Mike were there, and Ian had to leave early. He took off earlier or that night or something, or the night before or whatever. So it was just Mike playing by himself. So Mike and I said we should have teamed up. They should have put us on the same team, but they didn't. So we played, but there were a bunch of guys there. Mr. Short Game, him and his son Mark and his son Sky, super nice guys, but a lot of good people there. And so you played the first 4 holes. So he hit the bunker shot out. We made par. Got to the next hole. I think I made par on it again. I don't remember what. That hole was. I made bogey. It was kind of like a par 4, really long. It was like 280, and I hit it down, hit a little wedge on, hit it over the green, came back. I think I made bogey there. And then the next hole after, or then the next hole I played, I don't remember what I did. That was bogey on the next hole, and then the final hole where this LPGA Pro could be used. I hit it into the bunker again. I think I hit like every bunker, it felt like. And it was a pretty easy routine bunker shot. And I was like, man, you know what? Why hit it? Like, I can have this LPGA pro hit it and just get it closer, just, for safety. Like, she's going to get it closer than I am. And she hit it a little heavy, left it short by a good amount, and I think she felt bad about it. But anyway, she hit that putt, and I ended up making bogey there to move on. And basically, after the first 4 holes, they took like the lowest or the highest scoring 2 teams and knocked them out. And then for the rest of the round, basically knocked out one team every hole. So every hole, a team got eliminated, whoever the highest score. And went through, and I played really well, actually, for the first few holes. I was just going along, no chance of getting knocked out. And then we got to, it was a par 5. I remember when we played, it was a par 5, and I tried to lay up, and I hit my 7-wood like way farther than I thought. So I was like, all right, I'll hit 7-wood again, and I'll hit hybrid, and I'll lay it up like just in front, and I'll make sure, or I'll hit 7-wood, and I'll get it like, really close again. I don't care. And I hit it, and came up short. It was actually in a really good spot, and I just totally decelerated the wedge, just flat out decelerated it. Chunked it right into this like weird spot, and like over kind of like half desert, half not. And then I basically had to like pull it out, drop for a stroke, and then I hit a terrible wedge shot there. I put it in the bunker, hit the bunker shot out, and I was about to just pick the ball up because I was like, I lost, like I'm out, like this is it, I'm done. And there was 2 guys who were partners who, again, didn't know them. They're big, social media influencers. I don't think they're as big of golf guys in terms of influencers, but they're big social media kind of guys. And they were struggling. They were kind of back and forth in the green, trying to like get it on. They were over and back over and whatever. So come to find out, I was just about to pick the ball up, and I was like kind of counting, and I was like, oh, that's right, they hit 1 OB as well. So we're like tied right now. Like I think I was at like double bogey or something already. And I was like, oh, we're tied right now. So I was like, all right. And I had I don't know what it was. It was probably like 13-foot putt, 13-foot putt, something around there. It was really straight, but right there. And I made it in front of everybody. I drained it. And I made myself like a double or triple right there. I can't remember what it was, but it was a 5 or a 6. And because everything was like a par 3. So I pick up, and again, I think I was pretty sure I'd made it, but I didn't know 100%. And then those guys missed their putt that would have probably tied it. I think I miscounted theirs by 1, so I think they lost anyway. But they missed that putt and tapped in, and I won and moved on. So that was the scary moment there. And then went on to the next hole, and it was a par 3 that we'd played earlier. And 2 years ago, I played it with Kevin from The Office, and I played it with Andy Sullivan, who's the average golfer on YouTube. Super nice dude, and he made a hole-in-one there 2 years ago when the Gen 5 released, which was pretty cool. But they actually, instead of using the tee box, they moved us to like a different tee box from a different hole to make the hole long enough to play what they wanted. Oh, it wasn't even tee box. It was like they just moved it to like the fairway over on like the previous hole. So it was like a 200-yard hole, and hit it there. I think it was myself, Mike from TXG, Mr. Short Game. We thought we hit the green, and then there was a team that was there as well. One of the guys was kind of my roommate in the little villas, and they missed the green and struggled getting. Or they hit a shot kind of to the right, which falls off, and they were just in a bad spot. They couldn't get up and down, and all 3 of us basically hit the green, rolled off, and we all chipped on and kind of moved on to the next hole. So we get to like 17. It's again like a drivable par 4. It's like 275. I hit it. It's just me and Mr. Short came. Mike from TXG actually had to leave. He made it through, but he had to leave for a flight, so he was out. And it was just me and Mr. Short game. So they basically said the score on the last 2 holes, combined, is the winner. And I hit driver into the bunker, this huge bunker that protects the hole, like right front and right side of the green. I hit driver into the bunker. Mr. Short Game, his son Sky, who pounds the ball. He's a young kid, great shape, crushes it, but hits it just a little bit right, and he hits it again right on the edge of that like desert and rough. And he hit his basically 3-wood as far as I hit driver because the kid kills it. So anyway, I hit it out of, I don't hit a great bunker shot out, but I get it onto the green. He does the same thing. He's in a tough little spot. We both don't have anything great. We both made bogey. We get it out, get it on. I think we both 3-putted or whatever. Both made bogey, and we move on to 18. And on 18, they set it up. It was 230, slightly downhill, and the green is kind of like narrow but wide. It's not long front to back, and it's got a big bunker in front, huge bunker in the back. The left side is like all rocks and desert, whatever. The right side is just all fairway. And Mr. Short Game Mark hits a 5, I think it was 230. He hits 5 wood to pin high, but he hits it right, and he's like down in the little valley that's to the right of the green, just in the fairway there. I hit 3 wood to 8 feet, and it gets in the air and it just starts going, and it starts curving a little bit. And I was kind of worried. I was like, oh, God, if it hits those rocks, like, who knows? It's gone. I don't know where it'll go. And it landed, but it starts going left, stops, and then just falls. And I had 8 feet. Hit it pin high from 230, 8 feet from the pin. And, Mr. Short Game Mark couldn't get up and down. He hit the first one. He was trying to get things precise. It hit the hill and actually had a little spin, checked up, and rolled back down the hill. He hit the next one up, and it went, I don't know how far by me. And, so he hit his putt, he missed it, and he kind of conceded the hole. So it was, so I won the first ever Black Ops, shootout or whatever they want to call it, challenge, the Black Ops challenge. So I have an actual trophy and all that. I'm going to post the photo of me winning on social media, but I've got a little trophy, all that. It's actually like a driver head and this like nice piece of mahogany with some like carbon fiber letters. It was pretty cool. So I won that. It was a whole lot of fun. And like I said, got to meet guys like Mark from who's Mr. Short Game, just a super nice guy. His son Sky is awesome. Got to meet just a really good amount of people, and it was a whole lot of fun. So had a whole lot of fun there. But then after that, I know I kind of dragged that story on to get to a review, but anyway, so won that. It was cool. They shipped me the trophy. It's at the office. I just left it there, and I'm actually not worried. I think I wouldn't be shocked if somebody just come and unscrews the head and takes it off and just goes and plays it, because I could just see somebody doing that, because it's actually a legit Black Ops driver head. So it's a 9-degree head on this nice piece of mahogany. I guarantee I may come back one day, and it's just the shaft tip there, but it was really cool, a whole lot of fun, and so during the fitting, got to go, and there's no irons for this release. Black Ops is just going to be wood, so drivers, fairways, hybrids, irons are staying the same right now. There is no iron for this release. So when I got fit, same thing with wedges. I really thought we'd see new wedges. Sugar Daddy 2's still there. Got fitted, when we hit those. Went 50, 56, 60, which before 2 years ago I got Sugar Daddy 2s and went 50, 54, 58. And this time went 56, 60, all BP grinds, the higher bounce BP grinds that are 13 degrees of bounce. So I'm actually kind of excited to hit those around here, because when I played the 54, 58 set, that 54 I put in the bag a handful of times over the past 2 years, and it is really good in soft conditions. So excited to hit those. And then I got fit into the Gen 6 irons with Nippon Modus Tour 120s in there. So I got fit into those, and I kind of they're fine. I did basically 5 through wedge, and they're pretty good. I mean, they're pretty forgiving. They're soft. They go a mile. But I do like the tees better, so I'll probably play the tees. But I fit into those in the all chrome finish ones, which was kind of cool. They actually look pretty nice, to be honest with you. But played those. They're definitely long. They're definitely long. They go a long way. But but no new irons. So hybrids, drivers, fairways is what the Black Ops series is. So here's the driver. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can kind of see. You can also go to golfwrx.com, check out all the photos as well. I took all the photos like out in Arizona, so much nicer photos there. But the big story on this one is a couple things. One, got a brand new AMF technology face, which AMF basically means it's a brand new titanium face. So what they did is they went out, worked with a bunch of titanium suppliers, and found a titanium that is the same density as like 6.4 titanium, which is commonly used in golf. Same weight, same density, but it's more flexible and stronger than that. So that's what the face material is. It's basically a insert welded in. It's got a variable thickness design that's all new as well, but a much more flexible face, but stays as strong as the old standard titanium. And then on the top, the PXG stuff has always had, or at least, was I drop the driver head on my desk. PXG drivers have always had kind of like a composite crown. I know my Gen 5 driver, it's like a silver and black weave. This one here now has not only a carbon crown on the top, but also has a big carbon plate on the bottom. And PXG was like big to point out that these are like high grade carbon fiber weaves. They're not like, as they called it, chopped plasticky pieces that a lot of people put in. They're much stiffer, much stronger. So they said it basically keeps the head still rigid, still stiff, so they can get the performance they need out of it when at impact. But they also could then take that weight, move it around the perimeter, and the standard Black Ops head, because there's going to be two. There's a Black Ops and a Black Ops 2 or 1 head. The standard one, the one that I have in my hand that you may or may not see on, YouTube, is a 10K head. So 10K MOI, so 10,000, grams per centimeter squared. This head is going to fit that 10K scenario, 10K definition in terms of forgiveness. So definitely a more stretched out head when you look at it from face to back. It's got a little more point to it. It's a little more triangular than a lot of the other shapes, but it sits pretty square. This is a 9-degree head, sits really square in the standard position. It is a little bit stretched. I don't mind that because I kind of like a bigger footprint. When it comes to driver, it just gives me a little confidence. I mean, if you give me the option of, say, like a 2 or 1 head or this, I'm probably going to take this. 1, it fits my game better, but 2, this one, just in terms of fit better. So, yeah, big thing, composite, still the same movable weights, really pushed to the outside. So you can have that same thing where you can, either adjust overall weight, or you can move, a heavy weight into the toe for a more fade bias club, into the heel for draw, all the way back for higher launch. Mine is actually set high back for a higher launch. And with these 10K heads, I've noticed it with 2. So I've hit the TaylorMade, the QI 10 Max, and now this. I haven't hit the Ping yet, but hitting 2 of the 3 10K heads that are out, it is interesting to see that they do launch higher and spin just a little bit more. And I think a lot of it is just because that CG is so far back and so low in the head that they spin a little bit more and they launch a little higher. So I hit the 10.5 head, hit the 9-degree head. The 9-degree head was actually launching really, really well. It got me into that I was in that 13, 14 degrees of launch range, and spin-wise, I was kind of in that like 2,300 spot, which typically a lot of drivers I'm more in the 2,500 to 2,600. With this, I was about 2,300, launching at about 13, 14, and the ball speed, which, for me on the best strikes is around 150, as I'm down, closer to that 100 mark now from, my 104s, 105s. Miles an hour club head speed, I'm kind of down closer now to 100. Had a few 102s, stuff like that. But, saw some, 150, low 150s ball speed on center strikes. Really saw good ball speed, though, on miss hits. The stuff I was hitting a little bit on the toe, and if you can kind of see this on YouTube, you'll see the kind of the T marks are a little more heel bias there, but slightly on the heel when I hit it. And, I think overall on averages after all the shots, even with like a bunch of, with the shaft that I ended up going with, and even with other shafts, I mean, the ball speed, I think, averaged out to like 147, which was pretty darn good if you take into consideration the misses that I had with the center strikes. I thought the ball speed number was pretty darn solid. So, extremely straight, extremely forgiving, much like, like I said, some of the other 10Ks. You just don't see much curvature on the ball. When you hit shots with this thing, it just wants to go. It just wants to and just does go straight. You may, and I noticed this with, with a little bit with the TaylorMade as well when I got to play on the course with it, and I played, 27 holes basically with this. That shots that you miss, they don't like fade right or hook left or anything like that. They just kind of go right or go left, and they just kind of stay there, and they don't go crazy far. Right or left, they just kind of stay right there. And most of the shots I missed, I don't think I missed. I mean, when you play desert golf like Scottsdale National, there really isn't much of a rough. I mean, the fairways are extremely generous, extremely wide, so a very small sliver of rough, and then you get to desert. So it's basically you're in the fairway. You're crazy lucky to find some little bit of rough that you kind of landed and rolled into, or the ball is gone and you're not going to look for it because of the wildlife that tends to be in the desert. So I don't think I missed a fairway. That's not saying a whole lot, but I did hit driver really well those 2 days that I was there and on the range. And it's interesting because my fitting, we kind of went through this and we were hitting a couple different heads, 10-5 head, 9-degree head. We were hitting a couple different shafts, a couple different weight setups, all these things. And the shaft that I got fit into was extremely interesting because it's a shaft that I just don't. I've had before. I've talked about it. You guys have asked me a ton about it, and it's never been a shaft that I got along with. I had a heavier version and a lighter version. I had a driver one and a 3-wood one, and it's the Graphite Design Tour AD XC. So the XC, the mid-low launch, lower spinning one with a really soft handle section. He handed it to me, and it was funny because I'm like, the gentleman's name was Chris Reedy, and he's an awesome fitter, really well-known guy. He's been with PXG for a while and stuff, and so he was fitting me, and we're kind of talking, and I'm like, hand me whatever. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not even going to look at it. I'm just going to hit it, and we'll try to keep an open mind. But with shafts, I mean, we know what they are. We're club junkies. Like, we kind of know. And he hands me it, and I look down, and I was like, all right. I'm like, like me and this shaft have not had the best history. And he was like, oh, really? I was like, yeah, I've had it before and just, I struggled with it. And he was like, all right, well, let's try it and just, let's see. Let's hit a few and let's see. And I think I roped off these 4 balls in a row that were just the best shots I've ever hit with a tour, with an XC ever in my life. Dead straight, high. I think one of them had just a baby draw, but the other ones were just dead straight, and they went great. And like I said, launch spin was pretty much perfect. But he took it out. And he was like, "Let's switch it out." We put an HD in. We did a lot of hit a bunch of shafts, and then came back to it, threw it back in, and I hit 2 more, and they were phenomenal. So I was like, "All right, let's do it." So I got a Graphite Design Tour AD XC 6X. I'm pretty sure it's a 6X. It's right here. I just took it out of the head so I could put it up there. Yeah, 6X. So I've got that I was fit into, and I was a little worried. So I got fit into it. I was like, all right, let's do it. And then I was a little worried because I was like, I want to go play. What's it going to come to on the course? And then also with that little shootout we did, I hit it a couple times there because we had 2 or 3 holes where you need a driver. And honestly, I hit it pretty much dead straight every time. So I don't know what's changed in my swing, but that XC in this head has worked really well. But anyway, like I said, went down to a 9-degree head. The other interesting thing is as we were hitting kind of the 10-5 head versus a 9-degree head, kind of working on both, kind of the lower loft kind of creates a little bit more ball speed. So I was gaining just a little bit of ball speed over the 10.5, and we could have made the 10.5 work. It would have been fine. Because we could have set it up a little different hosel settings and things like that. Because the launch was no problem. It was more, at that point, hitting them side by side. I got a little less spin, a little more ball speed out of the 9-degree head. But being a 10K head, extremely forgiving. I mean, you can hit it all over the face, and the ball just pretty much wants to go straight. I think this thing, I know PXG drivers, people have struggled, Gen 1, Gen 2s. They were kind of still playing catch up, I feel like, to a lot of the market, a lot of the big guys. And I think this driver here is really going to surprise some people with how well it plays. I haven't hit it, side by side on a launch monitor or anything next to, any of the other new ones. But just from my experience on the launch monitor, on the course, you get away with shots that you shouldn't, and you have a good amount of ball speed, a good amount of distance. It's overall just a really good driver. Sound and feel have also changed a little bit. There was a big thing PXG was showing us. They did a ton with this natural frequency analyzation that they were doing, is kind of finding out where these sounds kind of come from on the head. So when you change these parts out, and you're putting carbon panels in and titanium panels and weight ports, and all these things influence how the thing sound and feels, the vibrations that come from it. And they were showing kind of adjusting the internals a little bit to have a better sound and feel. And it's got a PXG sound. It's a little bit louder. It's metallic, but it's kind of a low pitch metallic sound. It's a little closer to that crack sound than it is a high pitched ting. But overall, it's a touch louder than some of the other stuff out there. It's a little louder than the TaylorMade QI10, but it's not a bad sound or feel. I think it's pretty good. I think it's better than Gen 5, which is the last driver from them I have. I also have a 0211, and I think it sounds definitely better than that. The 2-on-1, I think for me was really very high pitch metallic. And then I've hit like the Gen 2 and stuff like that. This thing definitely sounds and feels probably the best. But I think driver-wise, probably the best driver they've come out with since or ever. I never hit the prototypes. I know there was those couple prototype models that people really raved about. I never hit those, but I think this is going to be a really, really solid driver. And then there is the Tour 1 version of this, which we got photos of the Tour 1, Tour 2, and Tour 3. Well, actually, I think we don't have photos of the Tour 2. I think that was like somewhere else. But Tour 1, Tour 3 were two models that were out on tour at the end of last year. I think Greg or Andrew got photos of them, and they were talking about it, and they were kind of test mules. So Tour 1 is actually available to us as retailers. I didn't even try the head because it's so low spin. They basically, PXG is saying it's probably one of the lowest spinning drivers on the market, which is saying something because there's a lot of people talking a lot right now about QI10LS and how low spin it is. But they say, that from their testing, it's probably one of the lowest spinning heads in the market. I know Ian over at, Club Champion Media got fit into one. I got some pictures of it. They're in the Golf to BRX forums. I am going to get a Tour 1 head. I've already talked to the guys at PXG. They're going to send me a head just so I can talk about it on the show. So a future show, we'll talk about Tour 1. But it's a little more compact, a little more rounded. The sole weights are moved from perimeter in a little bit, and they push the CG definitely forward in order to lower that spin, a little flatter launch. But to be honest, this thing's pretty low spin. I was pretty shocked because these 10K heads, they tend to spin a little bit more. They tend to launch high, spin high. And I think part of it with that is you need to go get fit for them to figure it out. Because I think if you buy the same spec that you've just always bought, you walk in and buy like a 10.5 head and just walk out, you might be disappointed with how it plays. I think you're going to have to kind of mess around a little bit and work with a fitter, work with somebody to go through and change some of the settings. But I noticed that, no matter where you hit on the face, the ball speed stayed up really well. And no matter where you hit in the face, the ball just went straight. Like it really did. I was surprised. I feel like even at a tighter course, I would have hit majority of the fairways that day. Everything was pretty darn straight. Everything was pretty much where I aimed it. I pretty much hit it there. Maybe just slightly left the target, which, for me, that's pretty natural. But it wasn't like big hooks or anything like that. I think I hit one ball that had like a big hook to it, and it caught the bunker and stayed. It was stayed in, but it was probably like the one hole like I didn't hit a fairway on because it rolled into a bunker. But really, really solid. And a really high performing head. So I think as PXG's done more and more drivers, each version it's a little bit better. I think the Black Ops is the best one they've made, and I'm pretty impressed with it. So this thing here will definitely be getting a all fit screw, and we're gonna mess around with some other shafts in this bad boy for sure, because it'll definitely make it to the course. It'll definitely make it into the rotation, and we'll definitely hit some balls with this thing. But really solid driver head. But the new Black Ops, it's interesting because it has the 311 on the bottom, but everything they do, they don't mention it in the name, saying like a 0311 Black Ops or Black Ops 0311. It's just the Black Ops driver and the Black Ops Tour 1. So we'll see what goes on there. But really, really solid. If you go to PXG, I think they're available like now, like in the PXG stores, online, all that. So you can go check those things out. I can't believe I just looked at the time and I'm like, wow, this is going to be a long episode. Because I just realized that we're already going. So I've got the next one here. I've got, oh man, I didn't. So the next one is the Fairway wood, which I went with two of them, and I guess I don't know where I put the 3-wood. So we'll talk about 3-wood and 7-wood. But if you're watching this on YouTube, you're just going to see the 7-wood because I don't know where I set the 3-wood near my desk. I can see the head cover, so I took the head cover off. It's somewhere here. But anyway, so we got Black Ops fairways. Now in this one here, there is no tour model. This is just going to be the Black Ops fairways. And on these things, you'll see you get that stronger composite top on it. So again, stiff, strong, keeps the head from flexing too much or anything like that. Take that movable weight, or take that weight, move it elsewhere in the head, And again, with these, the other one, the driver's got a brand new titanium face. This one here, brand new high strength stainless steel face. So a little more flexible, just as strong, and it's mated to a stainless steel body as well. The shaping, all that, very similar. The squared toe design that PXG has kind of done with fairways and hybrids is still there, and that kind of stiffens up the head a little bit, better for miss hits. And then the perimeter weighting on the sole. You have the precision perimeter weighting, which you can move around these weights and move heavy weights into the toe for more fade bias and things like that. And the thing I do love, and I love that PXG does it, every hybrid, every fairway, adjustable hosel. So fairway wood, like this is a 21 degree head, the 7 wood, the 3 wood's a 15 degree head. You can adjust them. You can make them flat to make them anti-left. You can keep them the same. You can go up and loft, down and loft, all that. You can dial them into exactly how you want to fit, which is really, really awesome. So the 3 wood is the one club I know when I did my show talking about bag that I was talking about a 3 wood is already going to replace my Callaway Triple Diamond Paradigm Triple Diamond. That's gone. At least one 3 wood. That is a 3 wood there. It won me the shootout. But the thing I like about this fairway is it's got the deep face, so hitting it off the tee is great. It's adjustable, so like mine is set standard but to fade, and then I got fit into a Graphite Design VR7 in that head, which was really good. But that head, here's the thing with it. I can hit it off the deck with no problem. It gets up in the air, and we actually took it. It's a 15 degrees set to 16. And the 16 degree, when you set it down, does not look shut, which is awesome. Too many heads, when you go to adjust and add a little bit of loft, the face it looks a couple degrees closed. This thing stays square, even with like an added degree of loft. So it's a 16 degree head, it's a 15 degree head, playing 16, off the deck, easy to elevate, can hit it high, it goes a long way. And then off the tee, the problem I usually have is I find something that I hit off the deck really well, but then when I hit it off the tee, I tend to either hit it high in the face or I tend to hit it, whatever, and it just goes high, spins, and kind of falls out of the sky. This 3 wood, I can hit off the tee, I can hit it off the deck. I've been able to kind of do it all, and it was really same thing, really, really straight, really stable. Whether you hit it off the toe, hit it off the heel, it just again wanted to go straight. I think this Black Ops stuff is just really, really forgiving. It is a little chunky, it is a little rounded, so for certain players that may play into what they like the look of. But the 3 wood there is super easy to hit, and I've been super impressed with it. I mean, the amount of shots I hit with it was a lot. Hitting it off the deck, hitting it off the tee. We were doing everything with it, and that 3 wood can kind of do it all. So that, at the moment, is in the bag. I know I've got some other stuff to try, but just the way it was built for me, it's in the bag. So it's flat, 1 degree upright, or 1 degree more loft, so 16 degrees. Graphite Design VR7 stiff in there, actually. And it worked really well. I mean, I didn't have to worry about, hitting big draws. That thing, it is set up. We didn't put, the heavy weight is just in the back, so it stays kind of neutral. If I threw it in the toe, it may take away some of that little bit of draw that naturally I have. But, ball speed on that thing, again, really, really good. I mean, for me, playing that shootout thing, I mean, I forgot to mention it. A slightly choked down 3 wood from 230 to land 8 feet and stop on the green is just a shot I never had. I didn't have that shot. But off the deck, I can hit it high. Still same thing. It's like hit that thing off the deck. It goes high. The angle of descent's pretty steep. It's not going to stop and back up, but it's definitely steep and hits the ground and has a less amount of release once it hits that green. But the 3 wood, same thing, really, really solid. Hit a bunch of different shafts in that one. That VR7 just felt really good in there and went that route. And then I do have the 7 wood as well, which is 21 degrees, and this is set standard and flat. But standard and flat there, and this thing's really good too. I hit it off the tee on a couple holes in that shootout. I hit it a couple times off the deck, while we played. And same thing, like I can hit it off the tee, I can hit it off the deck. I originally got fit into a Mitsubishi Tensei 75 stiff, and when I got out and played with it, and it was kind of like under pressure or whatever, it had a little more draw to it than I like. So I took the old Nippon Reggio Formula MB Plus out of my previous Gen 5 7 wood that I loved. I put it in here, and I think that may still offer me that mid-launch, a few extra grams of weight, but maybe helps stop turn it over just a touch. But this 7-wood's really good. Same thing, much like the 3-wood, you can hit off the tee, hit it off the deck, both go high. And, distance-wise, we kind of dialed this thing in where it's like that 210 number. So maybe just a hair more off the tee, but it's like that 210 number. It sounds and feels good. It's, both the 3-wood, 7-wood have that really metallic, high-pitched ping sound to them, and the ball jumps off the face and goes. So it's really solid there, and, really, really forgiving. Again, I'm trying to, think of, like, the shots I hit out there. Everything went pretty straight. Like I said, when I got under the gun in that little shootout, the 5-wood did kind of turn a little bit left on me more than I'd like to. So we'll see shaft-wise if this just kind of solves that problem. But other than that, both of these things worked really, really well. So really impressed with the Fairway woods. 3-wood at the moment, if I had to go play it right now and go play you for a couple bucks, that PXG 0311 is in the bag in terms of 3-wood for sure. Like it is definitely in there. And then hybrid wise, so I haven't played a hybrid in a while, and we said, heck, why not dump 4-iron and let's go 4 hybrid. So we basically built up 4 hybrid, which is a 22-degree hybrid. It's very similar to the Fairway wood where you have that composite top on there. So they have kind of lowered the weight. Toes really square on this bad boy. It is, as the guys at PXG said, they really designed it to be hit like an iron. Like hit it like an iron, hit down on it. It's got good turf interaction. Now, the desert is really firm, really fast, exact opposite of what I play. I mean, the turf interaction, this thing just glides over the fairway. So it just glides through there. You can hit shots off the deck, hit them off the tee. It's kind of like, for a 4-iron for me, it's exactly what I needed to do. I hit it off the tee. On that long par 3 they built in the shootout. I hit this thing on a couple other holes. There wasn't a ton of use of this bad boy, just because I didn't find myself in that like 200 number a whole lot when I played Scottsdale National and played that shootout. So there's not as much use to it, but the handful of shots I hit with it did hit really well. Again, really just kind of straight. And I love the fact that you can set it up to be draw bias, set it up to be neutral, set it up to be fade bias. If you're an anti-left guy, you don't want to see it go left, set the hosel setting flat and move a heavy weight out in the toe, you've got anti-left. If you want to hit it high, move that little bit weight back. It'll have maybe just a hair left to it. And then if you really want to turn it over, move that heavy weight into the heel and put this bad boy in the standard setting on the hosel and go. But yeah, 22 degrees. It played pretty well. It was just a little bit longer than my than a typical 4-iron for me, but it definitely went higher and definitely had a little bit more forgiveness to it when you hit it. For me, get a little steep, come down on it, I hit a little more off the toe. Still got a lot of distance out of it. Still got some good numbers out of it. Still got some good height out of it, even though hitting it off the toe and hitting kind of down on it. It definitely was more forgiving than my 4-iron. And then off the tee, I could hit it there, went high, and long. I wouldn't, again, same thing, wouldn't get the roll out of it that I would get out of a 4-iron, but the carry number is going to be substantially better. So again, sound and feel in this really solid. It's got that just kind of high pitched ting to it. Definitely really solid feeling when you get it. It's responsive. Did you hit it low? Did you hit it high? Catch it off the toe. It's got a really responsive feel to it. This one here has got the KBS Tour Hybrid prototype in it, an 85 gram. And it kind of matched up really, really well. So I think it's actually just a hair shorter too. I think we went just a touch shorter on it to take a little bit off of it to kind of play that gap of like that 200 to 205 number that I usually hit a 4-iron. So really a solid hybrid. I think PXG's hybrids have always been really good. I think most people have who've hit them have been impressed with them. But I think this one here, for me, I think launches a little bit higher. I haven't played their hybrids in a little while because I moved to 7-wood back in the Gen 5 days. But this one here has been really, really good in the 4-iron, and really happy with it that I can kind of hit the shots I want to hit with it and be comfortable with it. So between this shaft, which is kind of that mid launcher, gets it up in the air, but it doesn't want to turn it over hard. It just lets you kind of hit those high straight shots, and then a head that you can definitely set up to take away some of that left. It was really, really solid. So that is the new PXG Black Ops line. really, really good. Like I said, I think this is, between driver for sure, I think this is the best driver PXG's ever made. I think a lot of people, if you give it a shot, will be surprised at how good it is. If you're a crazy low spin, high speed monster, that Tour 1 could be your jam. So a lot of options there, ton of adjustability, and yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely worth getting your hands on the driver for sure, and testing it out if driver's something that you're looking to replace this year. So that is the Black Ops stuff. If you just go to pxg.com, they have all the info there, all that stuff, and you can check out more. But I've been really impressed with it. So driver-wise, definitely going to get a lot of love. The 3-wood is pretty much starter right now until I hit something better, which there's stuff out there that I need to try, but hit that. It is the starter in the bag at the moment to start the year, and yeah, it's going to be really good. I think drivers going to have a shot at being in the bag a good amount as well. So we'll see how things go, but that is the Black Ops stuff from PXG. Again, check it out. And yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube, please like, subscribe, whatever. Would love it. If you're checking, following along on Instagram, please do. Club Junkie Pod. And then follow the stuff on, wherever you listen on your podcast. Please, like, subscribe, 5-star, whatever. Would really appreciate it. So hopefully you guys have a good one. And again, this episode was brought to you by Titleist and the brand new T-Series irons. So T-Series irons, go to Titleist.com, set up your fitting today, get fit for the brand new T100, T150, T200, or T350, or T350, or one of the utility irons that they make, the T200 utility and the U505. Any of those there you can kind of go get fit for, and it's awesome. Those Titleist fitters, they have a bunch of shafts, a bunch of stuff, they've got, TrackMan, all that, so it is a blast. So check out more Titleist.com, but then also set up your fitting for the T-Series irons at Titleist.com. So hope you guys have a good one. We'll talk next week.